Brian Farrow.
Close enough.
Herbert on the right.
Mark, with so much newness at coordinator, quarterback, O-line, all over the defense, were you expecting a boom or bust game as you described, or were you disappointed by that?
I don't think you're ever. I don't know. Disappointment really can't enter your realm, right? You either have to fix things or do more of, less of, all those things. You can't, for lack of a better word, pout. We get a 3-and-out and created a 3-and-out early and drop the first punt. I would bet my mortgage and everything I have on Charles Nelson every time out. That guy's going to make a million plays for us, and he didn't make one, then he made several, and then he tried to make maybe more out of what was there on one and turned it over. But that's another guy that's anxious to be back out there, make up for some of the things toward the end of last year that he's and he's a proud competitive dude. I didn't think from an effort standpoint, I thought we were solid, and there were just 1,000 other things that we can clean up that literally will, that happens a bunch in the first game, whether you're a veteran or not. Just the head slapping. I can't believe I did that type of moments. Some of those, we had some veterans make some penalties that were key and critical. Had veterans that gave up contain. Just own it and move forward.
Back here, Matt, did you have your hand up? Yeah. Matt on the left.
Obviously, you guys thought highly of Troy Dye going into this game and starting him, but could you envision him coming out and performing the way he did?
Troy Dye, that's how he's been every single day at practice. He's just a football player, and that's the dumbest. I hate it when people said that, and I just said it. He's special teams wise, plays his tail off, both as a scout team player and as a real live performer. Just everything he does in individual drills, he competes his face off, and he'll hit you. And so he's a guy that we've been very, very excited about since the day he got here.
On the right, Andrew.
The offensive line was already young, then Cam gets hurt. What did you think of the kind of protection as the game went along and some of the jitters wore their way out with the offensive line?
Okay. Some of that was schematic that wasn't on the offensive line. Some of that was whether, again, it's all on us as coaches, but there were some other factors involved there. Cam's fine. Again, a mixed bag. There's 5 guys, and they moved constantly on them, and we never really settled down. We tried to settle them down just with some of the scheme stuff we did toward the end of the first half and early in the second half that was good, and had a couple big runs.
On the left, AJ.
Coach, what was your thought process on whether or not to put in Justin Herbert towards the end of this game, and when? Yeah,
that we were kind of in that weird zone, 3-score game. Whatever, a fumbled snap or something that could go awry. Obviously, if we had our pick, we would have got him in there earlier, but that didn't happen, and so just got him in there for the cameo there at the end, the little curtain call.
Back right, Kristen.
Back here, not looking at the tape yet. What were your first impressions of the 4-3? Did you think it was successful at all? Still some kinks to work out.
Sometimes we were in 3-4. Sometimes we didn't. I thought, again, operationally, we just didn't get gapped out all the time, and led to some of the big runs with the fly sweep action and the power. There's a lot of moving parts there that certainly other teams will do against us going forward, and so we'll get that ironed out. Most of that, again, is very, very simple on the chalkboard, simple on the tape to look at and understand what's going on. It's not just, hey, this guy got physically outmatched, something like that.
Back left, Matt again.
Brady Hoke talked about how going into this game, he would know if the defensive line had a good game, if they got pressure, hold, contain. How do you feel like those guys did with so many new faces starting in the rotation?
Very difficult to answer without watching the tape. I think at times when we got to the quarterback, some of it was zone pressure, some of it was additional rushers. You'd love to be able to get there with 3 and 4 and those types of things. I think we're capable of that. as guys, a guy like Jalen Jelks or some of these other guys that have put pressure on the quarterback in the past are very capable of doing that in the future.
Steve Raymond is going to be in the back left. Kind of right up here, please. Warren.
Mark, game one, do you come away, you talked about all of the things that you need to clean up, but do you come away encouraged or maybe a bit discouraged being
Both.
this team practiced well?
Both, I think you have to, right? In any situation, there's a bunch of stuff that we did great. Our punt operation. I don't think we gave up a yard in the return game, which is our goal. Is 0 yards. Hang on, let me check myself. That's correct. And a bunch of those things, but then you turn the ball over on special teams, which is the exact opposite of an impact play that we want to make. We went into this game with some high hopes of the return game and having a couple touchdowns, which we're almost there, but almost isn't good enough. So, yeah, across the board, there's good and bad in everything.
Tyson on the right.
It's super easy to overreact when a guy has, a couple catches for a decent amount of yards, but Johnny Munt today had probably as many yards as he's had the last 2 years combined. Is that just something that we can chalk up to a one-off game, or is he going to be kind of more involved in?
Johnny had by far his best fall camp of his career this camp, and that's one of those things you just never know what the lightning in the bottle moment is for a guy of his senior year. I don't know. That's where we try to get those guys to think urgency from the beginning of their career. But he's had a spectacular fall camp, and going forward, hopefully he'll be able to be involved in a big way.
Charles Nelson is in the confessional area back on the back right.
Confessional. Kills me.
Hey, Coach, you talked about Dakota kind of missing some reads. What was your impression about his overall play today?
Solid. I thought he did some. Again, we just want those guys to. The analogy we always use is make layups. Make the routine play over and over again, and we expect them to. The great play comes out of the byproduct of a bunch of routine plays, and he had a couple that were great, and he had a couple that immediately afterward he's going, oh shoot, I shoulda, or obviously the missed throws are easy as far as like the one over Darren. That's something we just needed to get our eyes somewhere faster, but encouraged.
Up here on the left, Austin.
Mark, first time in a long time it wasn't a sellout here. For anybody who watched today and is maybe unsure what to expect from you guys the rest of the way, what would sort of be your message? I'm unsure too, and it's exciting. I would say, a guy like, talking about Troy Dye or Dakota or Charles or Royce Freeman's worth the price of admission for anything. The type of person he is, Johnny Reagan, and just a great person in every realm. And I know college football is a tough business these days in a lot of ways. There's HD TV, and everybody likes their cold beverages and their man caves and all that stuff, but there's nothing like seeing those guys in person, and the atmosphere was great today for an early season game without the students and all those things. The band was awesome, the student section was awesome, and hopefully they'll come out next week.
Good, all right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.